With a population of over 180 million people, Nigeria accounts for about 47% of this population in West Africa and one of the largest population of youths in the world. It is also Africa's biggest oil exporter and with the largest natural gas reserves on the continent. These huge potentials notwithstanding, the country still faces different challenges, which include high unemployment rates, slow economic growth, infrastructure deficit, insecurity, corruption, high debt profile, and low revenue generation.
Besides, when you borrow too much, particularly domestic debt, what you do, you crowd out the private sector in terms of borrowing. And we are seeing this happening today. Many of our members find it more and more difficult to get loans from banks because it's easier to go and give loans to government.
These economic challenges have sadly led to the closure of many companies, especially in the industrial sector, with the attendant job losses increasing unemployment rate and poverty.
What we saw in the drop in the number of enterprises in 2017 was largely as a result of that economic recession, as well as the increase in smaller businesses. When you are in an economic recession, you're looking for a way to make ends meet, to improve your finances. So people that even have jobs will create one small business, and that's why micro enterprise will increase in that period. And those that cannot survive will obviously close down.
The issue of unemployment is quite worrisome, as it increased from 18.1% in the third quarter of 2017 to 23.1% in 2018. More worrisome is rising youth unemployment, reaching an all-time high of 38% in the second quarter of 2018, from an all-time low of 11.7% in the fourth quarter of 2014.
Okay, I'm a graduate of physics electronics. Basically, like 2.5 years, I was job hunting. The youths are basically line fallow, job hunting, searching for jobs where there are no jobs.
And if you calculate the number of turnouts from the past 20 years to date, you know the level of graduate unemployment. And I'm not talking of dropouts. I'm not talking of those with school certs, those with PhD. Now, if you move further, if Nigeria was employing, or they had 10 million workers before now, about 5 million has been evacuated.
And despite claims by the Buhari administration that it has created 7 million jobs so far, many youths still roam the streets in search of jobs. Behind me are youths who reside in Sango Ota area, Ogun State. They have resumed as early as 6:30 a.m., waiting patiently to be offered jobs in one of the companies around this area. Not all are lucky though, as some leave after 8 a.m. due to lack of space to accommodate them. They return the following day to continue their pursuits.
There's no space, but sometimes they just try to manage space, but there's no space basically, because the job available are so few that there are so much, the percentage is so high than the job that is on ground. So, and if there's no space, they'll just tell you to just go back and just come again.
Wake up 6 o'clock, come and start work for company, close 7 o'clock. At the ending, na small money. If I know, me no go and spend my time for school. Spend money, at the end, na zero.
We youth too, we have the power to work. We can do things that the government too are doing. They should give the youth chance. They should encourage the youth.
The high level of youth unemployment has led them to practices that poses security challenges, cyber fraud, kidnapping, youth restiveness in some communities, all impacting negatively on the economy.
From here to here, you will see somebody being caught. Maybe a woman, maybe steal this or this. The hardship is more. There is more hardship in this country.
Addressing the infrastructural challenges, especially access to good roads and power, which has hindered the growth of the industrial sector, is also critical.
That if we are determined, of course we must be, to create job, particularly for the youth, then everything is possible. But it means that we will need a more robust interrogation of how we handle our finances. We must have to be on the same page regarding our fight against corruption, because the more corruption grows in a country, the more unemployment and insecurity rear their ugly heads.
There's a need to pay a lot more attention to these micro businesses, because they have the largest share of employment. They contribute a huge chunk of our gross domestic product. They probably have the greatest opportunity to create more jobs. And we talk about employment. I mentioned that we have 41 million micro, small, medium scale enterprises. If we can just get half of them to create one job a year, that's over 20 million jobs we will create. So,
as the president plans to create 20 million jobs within the 4 years of his administration and lift 100 million citizens out of poverty over the next 10 years, experts say implementing policies that encourage the growth of micro, small and medium businesses, as well as the revival of some moribund industrial sector, is key. Nkiru Nwokedi, AIT News, Lagos.